Can we tuned in? Yeah. Can we tuned in? Yeah. Ha.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Beyond the Gates Season 2, Episode 125. Now, before we begin, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. All right, so we start the episode off with Sharon and Tracy. They came to visit Anita. They talk about the tour and ask Anita to join them on the tour, on the last leg of the tour now that she's done with treatment. We see Jacob and Naomi. They're eating breakfast. They talk about focusing on each other now. He wants to finish the convo they had about the BRCA gene, and she asked if he's okay with how she wants to handle it. We see Haley meeting Randy at Uptown to give him an update on Bill being in the hospital and telling him that the poison is working. We then see Bill trying to check himself out of the hospital. He runs into Chelsea and Madison, and they try to talk him into staying. We see Vanessa. She's at Joey's house. She brought a box of Joey's things over. She wants Joey to keep her company as she goes through it. He sends her off to get food out of the kitchen, some scones that he had made or whatever. And he opens the box and starts going through it and finds a letter from Doug upon his passing. We go back to Vernon, Anita, and Sharon and Tracy. Sorry, and tells them that Anita is clear to get back on stage. No, that Anita isn't clear to get back on stage yet. She still has radiation. Anita says she can't wait to get back so they can re record songs with Barbara's voice. They're all excited to pay tribute to Barbara. Y'all already paid tribute to her, but whatever. We go back to Bill at the hospital. Again, he's still trying to talk his way back to work. Chelsea wants to know where Haley's at. We go back to Randy and Haley. Randy isn't too sure about it working, but Haley is already counting her coins. She mentions Madison, and he tells her a doctor in the family wasn't factored into their plan. We go back to Jacob and Naomi, and he's on her side no matter what. She says she'll send him some information that she's already looked at. He wants to go with her to doctor's appointments. She says great. She has one today and asks if she can come with him. He says anywhere you are is where I want to be. We also seen Deanna coming in at this point. So we see Joey. He pockets the letter, and um Vanessa comes back, and she doesn't mention that the box is already open and ran and rummaged through. She just Vanessa's so dumb, and I'm just so annoyed with her. But she doesn't mention the box has already been opened. She gets a call from Deanna, who gives her an update a work on work, and then asks her to go to lunch. And again, the fact that you brought that box over there so that you guys can go through it together, and he sends you away and goes through the box, and then you come back and you see the box is open and already empty, and you don't say anything, makes no sense to me. Like, why didn't you say, well, why did you already go through it? Even if you like, even before you got the call, she didn't say nothing. She was just praising him about his stones. Didn't even ask, why is this box already open? Why does it look like you've already gone through it? Did you find anything? What's going on? Why would you open the box without me? Nothing. She didn't ask nothing. She's just like, oh, la di da di da. Like, girl. And then you keep acting like you miss Doug and all this other stuff. No, you don't miss that man, because if you miss that man, you would be questioning everything that Joey is doing when it comes to anything that has to do with Doug. But of course, she's not. She's so stigmatized. Clearly, I don't know why, but we'll talk about Joey later in another video, because so anyways, um we go back to the articulates and Vernon. He leaves them so that they can talk. Sharon flirts with him as he's leaving. Anita says she's gonna fight for hers. Tracy tells Anita that Sharon got a man now. They talk about him and they've all and what they've all gone through, and now they're happy for her. We see we see Vanessa and Deanna, they're at Orphe Jeans. They're talking about work. Vanessa's proud of her and happy ooh, sorry y'all. And happy that they're spending time together. Deanna apologizes and wants to be close with her again. Deanna wants all four of them, her, Joey, Deanna, and Donnell, to all do dinner tonight. Vanessa's skeptical about it at first, but Deanna is playing in her face like she's okay with it. We go back to Joey. He's reading the letter, and Doug is basically spilling the tea on everything with Joey, with what happened with KK Kenny, what happened with him, what happened with the laundering. Like he's spilling everything. So we go to Jacob and Naomi. They are with Monica and getting all the info on Naomi's choices and all this other stuff. Naomi tells her what she's leaning towards. They go over everything. Jacob wants to know what Monica would recommend. Um, we go back to Bill talking with Chelsea and Madison. He tells them that Haley doesn't know and that she hasn't been there all day. Chelsea is still trying to talk him into staying, but he isn't listening and he leaves. We go back to Haley telling Randy that, she's thought of this, and Randy, and if anything were to happen, Randy will fix things in the lab if it comes down to it. He tells her he's busy. He tells her about his assignment with Deanna and why he doesn't want to do it, why he doesn't want to do the assignment. She tells him, well, don't do it. He says he'd be gone before Bill if he doesn't listen to Joey. She makes a joke about it, and he's like, girl, I'm not playing. He gets a text from Joey telling him that he needs to get to his place. We go back to Deanna and Vanessa. Again, she's still playing in that lady face. She tells her, yeah, she's playing in her face. Vanessa's eating it up because Vanessa's dumb. And she can't wait for the dinner. So we go back to the girls. Anita is she's gonna be on them about being happy. She wants Tracy to find a boo now. They talk about her treatment journey. Vernon comes in and he tells them he has a surprise for them. We go back to Monica, Jacob, and Naomi. Monica doesn't recommend anything for her patients. Everyone is different. Jacob mentions Kat and what happened with her and wants to know if that could happen to Naomi and what the risks are. Monica explains it to them and tells them the BRCA gene increases your risk for other cancers, and sends her the info and other ones and what she needs to do. Jacob wants to know what Naomi's options are. A full hysterectomy is where they're going. Jacob says that changes everything. Naomi says, why? Because deep down you hope I'll change my mind on having kids. So here's my take on it. On one hand, I get it. You don't want to have kids. Cool. I understand it. That's the day and age that we live in. Ain't trying to force nobody to have kids. If you don't want to have kids, that's your prerogative. I get it. For a soap opera, in order for it to continue, I know that this is like, we're trying to be low-key everyday life, but at the same time, not really, because there are things. But you know what? I feel like this show, they're trying to be everyday life. And I think that's another thing that is taking away from the show, because it's just like, at the end of the day, it's a soap opera. We need those outlandish stories and things that are just out of the box that would never happen in the real world. That's what we're looking for. This is an escapism for everybody. I'm not trying to see everything being tied up in a bow that just doesn't make sense. So on the one hand, I get it. You don't want to have kids. Cool, whatever. Get it. On the other hand, it's a soap opera. In order for this show to progress and have generations upon generations and upon generations on this show, we're going to need them to have kids. As it stands now, the Dupree family effectively will end unless Kat has kids, because Naomi doesn't want to have kids. She's already talking about having a full hysterectomy at the full age of 29, 30 years old. Martin, unless they come out, because they keep saying he's he used to date women, unless a girl comes back and she had his son, he ain't having no kids. He adopted. Chelsea, we don't know if she wants kids. We haven't heard her say anything about that. But at the same time, unless she's going to get somebody to fertilize an egg of hers, she's probably going to adopt. And then we have Kat. Kat ain't trying to get married right now. So ain't no way she's trying to have kids either at this point. So it's just like, it effectively is going to end with Kat. All of Danny's kids at this stage, her kids aren't going to have any biological kids because Naomi don't want none. We don't know what route Chelsea's going to go. Ain't saying nothing's wrong with adoption. People can adopt. Nothing is wrong with it. But that's where we're at. Naomi, I mean, if Chelsea doesn't want to have kids, Naomi doesn't want to have kids, then that's it for the Danny Dupree side of the family. Then we get to Nicole. We don't know if Martin has a kid out there or if he's going to. I'm sure he's not going to have a kid on Smitty, because that would just be a slap in the face to all of the LGBTQIA community if he were to do that. That would just be wrong. Anita and Vernon, all they had were girls. So again, unless their girls' kids have kids, the Dupree line is going to end after this generation. Unless Kat continues. It's like Kat is the only one that's going to be able to continue on with this bloodline, because Naomi is effectively trying to get rid of the option at all to do it. And it's like, we're only in year 2 of this show. If you want this show to last forever and a day, going on 50 years, 60 years, however many years, like General Hospital, Bold and the Beautiful, like even to get to year 10, they're going to have kids. That's how you move stories along. I know people don't want to see kids right now, because again, you can have kids and not even show them. We can have them, give it 2 years, and soars them. Like, we do that on all soap operas. So the fact that this is the route that she's going, and it's like, I can't, if this right now is already causing her to want to have a full hysterectomy, I don't see anything else that would to happen later on in life for her that would make her want to change her mind about having a kid. Like this right now, probably if she would have went the other route, this would have been probably, you know what, I want to at least have a kid or two, and then I'll get a full hysterectomy. But she's effectively trying to cut it all out, like no option whatsoever. And it's like, again, I get it. It's her body. I understand if you don't want to have kids. I ain't trying to rush you. As for a soap opera, I just don't think it's feasible that we have characters that say they don't want to have kids. I know it's different, but at the same time, if we want this show to, if we want to see in 10 years, or 10, 15 years, if you want to see the next generation of Duprees, this can't be the end of the line right here. But effectively, if that's the route that they go and she does have this full hysterectomy, then that's what's going to happen. And yeah. unless Vernon, we find out Vernon had a son somewhere out there, or we find out that Martin had a son from one of the girls that he was messing with when he wasn't fully out of the closet yet, or if Chelsea ends up having a baby or Kat has a baby. But effectively with Danny, unless she has a kid, and I thought I don't know if that's where they're gonna go, if she's gonna be pregnant or not. I don't know if that's the route that they're going. But if she does not have a kid with Andre, or who's the daddy storyline, then yeah, she may never be a grandparent. And I, I guess so. We go to Chelsea and Madison, and they're talking about Bill and how they're worried about him. Chelsea calls Haley and she tells him about Bill. Haley says she got it. Chelsea thinks Haley is going to take care of him. We know she not. We see Deanna. She's at Uptown. She's trying to make reservations for dinner that night. We see Joey talking to Randy. He wants him to find out if Doug had a safety deposit box, or someplace where he would sorry or someplace where he would keep documents, important documents, and Vanessa can't know about this. We go back to Jacob and Naomi. He's telling her no, it doesn't bother him. He's fine with it being just them two. Naomi asks about early menopause, and Jacob wants to know what's the risk of it all. Monica tells them Jacob wants to know when Naomi has to decide. Monica tells him there's no rush, since all her tests, she's done all the tests that she needed to do, and everything came back, and so there's nothing for her to worry about. So they do have a lot to think about. We go to Bill. He's at his office. Haley comes in. They discuss Bill leaving the hospital. She wants to settle on a compromise. We go back to Joey and Vanessa. They're at the house. Vanessa, she tells him that Deanna wants them to go to dinner. Joey is skeptical at first, but Vanessa talks him into it. Vanessa, again, has yet to ask about the box that she brought over, because where is it at this point? That's what I said in my note. We see Deanna. She's texting Donnell to meet them at Uptown. He calls her and tells her he can't because he has a frat meeting. Doug shows up and tells her good girl and gives her a hug. We go back to Vernon and them, and he tells them that he called Devon and set up a date for when they can go back in the studio. He checked everything and found a date that's good for all of them. They all agree to it. He tells Anita it gives her something to look forward to. We go to Jacob and Naomi. They talk about what's next. She's happy that this didn't drive a wedge between them. They hug, and Jacob doesn't look too sure, and this is when they're getting ready to leave. So we go back to Haley and Bill, and she wants him to get in shape and tells him what she has planned for him, and then they kiss. We go back to Deanna and Doug, and she's telling him the plans that she has for tonight. He tells her Joey is hard to fool and to be careful. We go to Joey, and he's flashing back to the time that Doug had threatened them, and we see him burning the letter. And that's how the episode ends. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. Get down in the comments. Tell me what you guys thought of this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.